Так. Собственно, продолжаю проходить наконец-таки дальше вампира. Я закончил о том, что мне надо было идти на похороны Мэри, которая является сестрой главного героя, которого вначале укусил. И, собственно, с этого я и продолжу. Последний раз я отправил Дороти в свободное плавание. Как-то так. Так, надо проверить, что там по звуку. Так, значит, продолжаем.
I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear.
По оружию ничего не изменилось, также дубина must have. О, пацаны, привет. Как же вас тут много, да? Так, вот просто пришел на кладбище, и тут меня встретили. Все было приемом.
My dear sister, I don't know if I have the strength.
Так, Скалли. Эй, да ладно. Блин, а можно таргет не будет перепрыгивать с цели на цель? Да, все нормально, я помогу. Погоди, болтаюсь. Если
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to kill me.
ну,
Why?
это были уже не совсем люди.
They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Shaoshun. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed. I must go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
Кто? Третий уровень. Пока. Так, это очень интересно.
Is Father Whitaker's disciple among the... This man's far too old to be Samuel. No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker. Samuel isn't here. I had better follow the blood trail.
Кровавенько. Кровавенько. Идут к скалям, да? Ну, да.
As I feared, Samuel no longer preaches the gospel.
Сэмюэл, что с тобой стало? Слишком на кладбище засиделся. Лежать плюс лежать. Маленько похаваем. Еще куски берем.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Лучше, чем людей есть, наверное. Спокойной ночи. Отдыхай. Так, а зачем я вообще в этот дом зашел? Ладно. Может, тут что-то интересное есть. Ничего нет. Серьезно? Серьезно? А зачем тогда сюда идти вообще? Да. Ух ты ж. Самый быстрый, да? Думаешь, умеешь телепортироваться, значит, крутой. Ну все. Да, файты с обычными рядовыми противниками, какие-то не самые простые. Бля.
Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
Ну да, надо сныкаться где-то. Будем наблюдать отсюда.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Матушка-то у нас скоро не ожилась. Пожалуй,
Why
человек.
kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Oh, Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
И, видимо, она еще достаточно богатая женщина была. Или есть, точнее, да. Да, мы, может, можем сестры вампира сделать. Или все-таки никак.
Oh, Mary. What have I done? If I could only change one thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do.
Вот это вот
but
как
accept
казалось.
it.
What brings you here?
I thought you could use the company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
Что такое кротости? Я не знаю.
A vampire crying over the death of a loved one. It sounds like a bad joke.
No, Jonathan. She was your sister. And the pain of her death, the hunger that killed her, will stab at you for years.
It's important to cry for those you love.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
Ну да, на что нам еще остается? Это ты привыкла там людей, в которые в тебя верят, просто брать и хавать.
I'm learning. Every night is a new lesson. What I am, what I must do to survive. But my sister, she shouldn't have suffered because of my weakness.
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve. And the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
You may be right.
Of course. I've stared upon this world for centuries. And time has taught me to deal with guilt, if not erase it.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
Если у нее по лицу видно, что она нормальная, вроде бы не вампир, то у нас что-то по лицу как-то не особо видно, что мы нормальный, здоровый человек. Что-то как-то у нас лицо в каких-то венах, глаза красные. Все такие, вот, нормально, но болеет чем-то в порядке. Так заработался чисто. Не спал ночами. Так, а это куда? Что это за кровь? А, это убежище. Нас. У меня крови собрало, нет, что-то вкачать. А почему в убежищах какие-нибудь пушки бы новые лежали? Да, что-нибудь интересное. Тут ничего нет вообще. Там как-то такое себе. В смысле, я же спас. Ладно. Ну, как раз отчипил, поэтому.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion.
Ты кто?
Shed your skin, forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Здесь какой-то страшный, жесткий.
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon.
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
А чё ты такой большой, а? Растишки кушал много, что ли?
Immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
I'd head back if I were you, sir.
А ты
Not a
враг?
safe place right now. Stay back, beast.
Ой, ой. Какой-то мини-босс, что это? Я вообще его шатаю.
Go on, back to the shadow.
А, нет, боже.
This man stunned me with his faith.
Угу. Теперь появились новые противники, я так понимаю,
This
да?
is not good news.
Ну, спасибо. Да, старых будто не хватало. Какие-то типы будут с распятием ходить, мне в глаза светить. Whitechapel. Так. Ну, сначала в церковь нас схожу. Она еще работает.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
Отлично.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what
Да, не
burdens
туда
you,
ты лезешь,
with whom do you
по-моему,
wish to
дядька.
speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
Ну, это несчастный случай.
It was an accident. A terrible, terrible accident.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
I feel responsible. The pain is consuming me.
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What would you like her to know?
I killed you. There's no excuse. My dear Mary, forgive me.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
Ну такая себе исповедь какая-то получилась, ладно.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all.
Так, отец Вайтакера, где он шарится-то? В церкви. Ага, вон. Что сумасшедший святой отец, я нашел этого
It's Father Whitaker, my son.
ученика или кто он там был.
So, are you still lost in your rational delusions?
Да не, у меня нормально.
I have found Samuel, your disciple. I am afraid I have bad news.
I already expected the worst. He should already have come back. He is dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is now. The epidemic took him.
Samuel steadily made donations to our cause. He would have rewarded you himself if you'd found me in that awful cemetery. Please accept this money.
И ничего было по кладбищам шариться.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
If you propagate the devil's work, you'll perish by the devil's work. Such is the law of the Lord.
Your disciple, Samuel, stole from the dead in Stonebridge Cemetery. I have proof of his crime and proof of his death.
No! Samuel was the best of us. So devoted, so zealous. He gave all he had for the cause. He tirelessly preached the good word.
Видимо, не до конца он был таким хорошим.
That's how he financed your misguided crusade.
Think what you will. When this city is saved, he will be praised for his devoted fortitude. He walked boldly into the mouth of abomination.
Your precious Samuel used you. He was an immoral crook.
If that's true, then he will be my burden to bear during this endless night.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Так, что я смог узнать об этом? У меня не хватает еще последней подсказки. Ну и 5-й уровень гипноза, как бы, а все равно ничего с ним не сделаю. Так, я вернулся. Так, хотел посмотреть, что это за событие. Событие. Сегодня стримчанский выйдет короче, чем обычно. Еще полчасика постримим и все. Так, что с клиникой вообще стало? Почему по идее? Очевальня какая-то была. Эти гули приперлись, то есть скалы. Вот как их там. Это не остатки Дороти вообще лежат. Так, по звуку, мне кажется, она где-то наверху там. Ну да. А чё это с ней стало? 24-й левел, как я должен убивать его? Просто в углу я забью. О, что это за... Что? Он меня травило, просто понимаю. Жесть какая-то. Чисто размен произошел. Так, а где я зареспаунился? Надо качать максимум стамины и чисто просто забивать всех и все. Так, они сейчас опять заспавнились. Ну да, чего еще ожидать? Боже, да куда ты таргет сбиваешь? Чего они сделали такой неудобный таргет? Я конечно понимаю, что игра приставки было изначально. Можно было как-то нормально адаптировать пока. Камеры. Да, на прошлый раз этого Лусика здесь не было. А здесь Дороти там больше не будет. Что забивать ее в туда что-то не особо горю желанием. Есть какая-нибудь звоночка? Не, все-таки на втором. Вроде никто не кричит. Давайте, ты тут? Тебя нет. Ну и хорошо, что тебя нет. Так, ну я подобрал с него какой-то ключ. Что ему открывать? Вот тут, наверное. Минус ключ. 6 пробирок и средства головного боли. Талонный медосмотр. Что я с ним сделал? Ничего, в принципе. Так, проследование это какой-то забагона. Больше ничего такого нет, значит надо идти по основному сюжету. Может, есть какие-то новые диалоги?
Have you any news?
It seems her dispensary isn't so busy nowadays. Good thing for the Swanborough cordial.
Goodbye.
Ты какой-то бордой торгуешь. Мне особо не нравятся такие торгаши, которые пихают непонятно что. Так, куда я прибежал-то? В тупик. Ой-ой-ой-ой, пути. Морский. Сначала вот с тобой закончу. Надо похилиться. Да, теперь вот эти священники будут постоянно появляться. Очень прям неприятные противники. А нужен ли он мне? Типа, да, покспа. Главное, он мне не нужен пока что. промахнулись с крестом. Да, файты все сложнее становятся. Ну и я, по идее, становлюсь сильнее. Надо сейчас добежать до убежища и покачаться.
Remember you.
Fear be gone. I would harm
Да ты меня создал, да? Что за рогатый вампир?
It's your doing. You made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
You selected me, chose me.
As shall my children yet to come.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
Ничего не понятно, но очень интересно.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
О, там спорит с кем-то.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your...
Так как он сразу понял, что
I'm
Кирилл
tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Да-да.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned.
Хотя по нам видно, что мы не совсем нормальные.
Bad news indeed.
What
А
happened?
что за
The
опять
hospital
наделал?
has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
Jonathan, please. I can't rely on anyone else. And this concerns you as it involves vampires. Someone has taken advantage of our more liberal tendencies here.
In what way?
Jonathan, I may turn my head when you or her ladyship indulge, but I will not allow this place to become a nest for street feeders.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Well, they are not far wrong. The hospital is almost crawling with vampires.
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Так. Хэмптон. Он же вроде... Шон Хэмптон, он же типа столб первого этого района порта. Или что? Не понял. Ну ладно. Кем его искать? Угу. Схожу сначала до леди Эшбери узнать, как у нее там дела.
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock.
Да нет, сначала
There's
я
no other place he would go but the
вкачаю
docks.
левел, пожалуй. Путешествую дальше. Что за лекарство взял? Понял. Рецепта тут нет. Естественно, я хотел какой-нибудь мегабилк включить. Урона все 400 крови. Я хочу взять такую штуку, чтобы каких-нибудь мега типов убивать. Смотрю, как это вообще будет работать. Чем больше выносливости, тем богу выносливость. Не знаю, может эти белки имеют какой-то смысл? Не так. А может и не имеют никакого смысла. Черт его знает. Все равно я не особо не пользуюсь. Года они все паперы там лежали. Значит, мне надо 6 доз от переутомления. Есть 2. Сделаю, что там 6 еще сделал. А, мне 5. Здесь не было. Давайте сделаю, чтобы было. На всякий случай.
Good evening, Mr.
Evening.
Can you tell me anything about recent events at the hospital?
Before the shouts and the noises, I think I heard whispers coming from the stairs. 2 voices, maybe more.
Did you recognize the voices? What did they say?
I couldn't hear. Sounded like they were arguing or something.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
Not really. I think I caught something in this bloody hospital. I swear I'm dead, yet smiling inside, Dr. Reed.
As long as you remain here, I will make sure you don't have to worry about your health.
Don't think you can do much about it. Damage is done.
Так, ну может получше стало.
Goodbye.
Кого я? Там бабульку убили, что ли?
What on earth happened here?
Реально жесть какая-то. Шучу с носа.
Good evening, Miss. Is there anything you can tell me about the recent commotion here?
Many things can happen under cover of night, Dr. Reed. But I took no part in this massacre.
But did you see or hear anything?
I can't say I did. But the smell of fresh blood almost made me faint, Doctor.
Так, она здоровая.
I'll leave.
What your last thoughts would be, sir?
Кому там еще лечение требуется? Нормально оно все. Это норм, это ничего не очень.
I'm quite busy right now.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Nothing like this would have happened if we'd had enough staff and proper shifts.
So you don't think the blame is ours?
We all hold fast here, Dr. Reed. Our methods may differ, but we are all trying to make a difference.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Thank you for your
Так
time.
получается, что
We'll talk later.
вы лечите людей, я лечу себя.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Please, tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital.
I heard Miss Jones call for help from her bedroom. There were some loud noises, like people fighting. All of a sudden, it went quiet. And then the nurse started screaming.
Do you know who the nurse was?
Not sure, but I think it was Nurse Hawkins.
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here? I thought I was in a hospital.
Unfortunately, you are not the only person who needs help. And complaining about it won't do you any good.
Well, perhaps you're right, Dr. Reed. I'm sure if me missus was still alive, she wouldn't be happy with me going on like this.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Тебя вылечу, не тебя вылечу, всех вылечу.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
It's a disgrace. How on earth can patients be attacked in their own rooms?
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
Do you know you're the only one who's asked me this? No, I don't feel well, actually.
Despite what you think about this place, I can tell you with absolute certainty, taking this will help you recover.
Well, at least your reputation seems well deserved. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for this hospital.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Так, кому тут еще надо помочь? Милтону и сестре. А, еще это уведомление. Где ты? Что ты там делаешь?
I'm sorry you ended up on my plain and cold medical bench, sir. I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
Что он там делает? Тут обшаривает.
You don't mind if I search your pockets?
Ну да.
Do you, sir? You won't need any of these anyway. I'm not stealing from you, mister. I'm only redistributing your belongings to people who need them.
Вот откуда ты предметы на торговлю привезли.
You see, no one has claimed your body, sir. So it would be such a shame to bury you with your valuables. I will not forget you, sir. And I thank you for your generous donation.
It's locked.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Can you tell me anything about recent events in the hospital?
Oh, goodness me. This whole story is such a shame, sir. I have no idea how it happened.
What are you talking about?
Poor Miss Jones. Her body is missing. Someone stole it.
Miss Jones's body has gone missing?
Yes. The body was brought here this morning, and now it's gone.
Who could have stolen a corpse?
That's exactly what I asked myself for the whole day. Who could do such a thing? These are terrible and shameful times, Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical attention?
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the most healthy company, even if the quiet can be appreciated.
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is a constant reminder of our mortality. But you have my thanks, Dr. Reed.
How dare you steal from the dead, Rakesh? Is that what your pawnbrokers is really about?
These people are dead, sir. What they possessed could be useful for the living. And I'm sure they would agree if they could speak.
You should show respect for the dead. What about their loved ones who may treasure these items you sell?
The bodies I watch over are the unwanted and undesired, sir. I would never deprive anyone of their family artifacts.
Ну, смотрим.
Goodbye, Mr.
Oh, Jonathan. I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman. Butchered by some savage scalp.
Что за вопрос? Не ответ. Позвольте разделиться на трапезу. Ладно.
Would you care to partake in this meal with me?
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent, for there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
Ну да, дом дядька там большой был.
Have you embraced this woman, like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Thank you, my lady.
Так. Надо лекарства пораздавать.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital.
Our job brings us into...
That's easy for you to say, Doctor.
What can you tell?
Someone killed Miss Jones in her room. And Mr. Hampton's gone.
You don't seem shocked.
Why should I be? Whoever...
Goodbye. Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you require
I will be fine.
nurse? You won't.
I'll try.
Goodbye.
Так, ну все, я всем лекарства раздавал.
Safer here than anywhere else in the East End.
Убедите, что не вернуться в отчет. Типа я ее не убедил, получается. Можно было с ней еще раз поговорить. Ладно. Тут все какие-то проблемы по со здоровьем. Так, ладно. Пока что на сегодня на этом остановлюсь. Как я уже говорил, стримчанский сегодня будет короткий. Завтра постараюсь поиграть подольше, пройти побольше и так далее. Завтра надо пойти сюда и сюда. Я сначала завершу расследование, а потом пойду уже по сюжету. Ладно, семья, выключаюсь.